Tired of spending hours cutting your podcast manually? This plugin has saved me hours of editing time. I've just finished the prep on Jack's interview. Now, I manually edited this one, but I want to use it as an example for you with how Autopod can be used specifically. You need to make sure that your intro, so your intro frame is synced up, obviously, with all of your audio and all your audio sources, but also it is clean and flush, so there isn't any odd, so it's all starting on 0, 0, 0, and the same with the end. So if you can see here, if I zoom in on the end of our frame, on this conversation, you can see it's an absolute clean end as well. And then what you want to do is, after you've installed and gone through the process, you'll be able to come down here to Window and go to Autopod Multicam Editing. You want to open this. It's then going to check that you actually have a license and you have subscribed, and then you'll get this window here. So you can save presets, but for the time being, I'm just going to do it manually so I can talk you through my cut methods in specific and all of the other stuff. So we've got our cut methods, standard or enable and disable. Personally, I prefer manual enabling and disabling, so it allows me to re-toggle and re-edit it, because if you don't, it will cut and delete those unused chunks. And then you want to decide, and this is kind of a personal preference about your wide, if you have one. For digital podcasts like the mine and Jack's, you won't necessarily have a wide. If you're in person, you might. So this would be how many times and how frequently you want to change the camera angle. So you can choose it between low, obviously, but mean it will change less, and then obviously highest will be very aggressive. I'm going to leave mine on. I'm going to put mine on high. We have 2 speakers. We have 3 cameras. And then we have delayed cuts. So this is the time where it gives a little breathing room before the cut, and then it will ignore cuts if they're less than 1 second. So if you bounce between each other, they won't necessarily cut in that respect. And then this is the important bit, so you need to make sure that you label your audio correctly. So I know, for example, A1 is me, and A2 is Jack. And then it's going to ask you about what each video layer is. So for me, video 1 in this nested sequence here, because I have 2 clips from the Z6 specifically here, so that's me, and then the other 2 are Jack. So we're just going to change both of those to Jack, and then we're going to click Create Multicam Edit, and what it will do is it will create a brand new comp. So what it's going to do now is it's going to listen to the audio, and it's going to make cuts where appropriate. And this I would always recommend using as a base editing tool. You should then listen to each of those transitions, and sometimes you might need to slightly tweak them and look for that human nuance. And this is where I think AI can be an example where it's going to be really powerful to use, because obviously this element is going to take me maybe a minute, maybe 2 in that respect to actually cut. But then we're in a position where, but it normally gets about 95% correct. But you can start to see here on the screen where it believes to make the change. So that was maybe a minute and a half that took, and this is a very close, so we'll close this for the time being, very close example of how we can cut. So now we can look and see how well it actually did. So it wanted to cut to Jack. So Jack's doing his intro, he then cuts to this other camera, then it cuts to me in perfect sync with my audio, then it goes to Jack, cuts to 2 cameras here, and then as you can see here, that's the entire edit. So the only thing that I would need to add to this, because you will pre-grade your footage and you'll pre-grade stuff before you do Autopod, it will also give you a backup when it comes to the actual comp, as if before it did the cuts, in case you do want to revert back. Just make sure your grade, your audio is obviously synced and etc., because it'll make your life easier. But that, as you say, I took a couple of minutes, and I just need to add an intro and an outro. If you did do an intro and an outro during the recording, then it would obviously do that within that edit as well. So this is going to be part of, and I hope this took value from this. I hope you found this helpful, and you could potentially use it to help increase your productivity when it comes to podcast editing. As I say, just make sure you've got 2 layers of audio, otherwise it does struggle. I had an in-person one that I think I'm going to have to edit manually, simply because of the audio being mixed in that respect as well. So thank you ever so much for coming back and joining me. If you would like to see how AI can help increase your workflow, I'm running an event at 10 till 12 on the 11th of September 2025 in Salisbury. So I'd love to have you. I'll leave links down in the description down below for those who may be interested in checking out the event a little bit more. And I'd love to hear what you think in the comment section down below. If you're new to the channel, why not be subscribed? And I'll see you very, very soon.